to Jesus Still Saves. I'm your host, Rizzy, and today I wanted to start off with what the Lord has done for me. I'm over 300 days clean of not a drop of alcohol and not one pill. I'm 6 days clean of nicotine, smoking the vape. I wouldn't say clean of the nicotine because I'm actually wearing a 21 milligram patch. I'm used to getting 50 milligrams, but that's okay. God is making a way. I can't believe how far life has brought me through all of it. And even when I had my highest doubts, Jesus made sure he came right through and shut, silenced, rebuked any and everything that didn't serve a purpose in our Father's will. I also want to say a huge shout out to everybody in the server. You guys are a complete blessing, every single one of you. If you are listening, just huge shout out to every one of you, because just you being there, just you like asking questions, prayer requests, any of those things, it heals a part of me because I get to be there for someone. Me being an introvert, physically I'm not around a lot of people, but online I feel better because I'm able to type to anyone that needs help, or just a prayer, or just some words of encouragement. It really feeds the inside, like my soul, and it makes me like remember how beautiful God's love is and how it shines through every one of us. I see members praying for others, reaching out to others, asking them how they've been, and it's just beautiful to see. Like, it's crazy that people don't see people, like you didn't meet someone physically, but nowadays online you can get to know somebody and it's almost like you guys been friends for 10, 20 plus years because of how active you guys are online. And I also wanted to speak on how crazy it has been. Like, today I really felt like I didn't want to do a recording. I was putting it off. I've been putting it off until like the very last second. I was going to be like, you know what? I'm going to skip a week and just keep trying to focus on the recovery from the nicotine, the bouncing around levels. I'm like really, sometimes I'm like super up, and then when I'm low, I'm like super, super low, and it's getting, familiar because I, being an alcoholic, I was drinking a lot, and that kind of kept me in the darkness. And I can tell that this is also screaming a lot of darkness, a lot of painful memories and whatnot, a lot of issues I'm going through, like lightheadedness. My chest is hurting. I can't sleep at night. I toss and turn. My dreams are crazy vivid. I have shortness of breath sometimes, and my whole body will fill with anxiety. It'll leak into panic attacks because I can't handle it, without the quick hit of the Juul pod, of which I used to smoke. It's been rough, man, but when I really sit back and look at it, I'm really thankful for all of it, because I still haven't had to go to the hospital yet, thank God. And I'm here recording this, not at my best, but at the same time I'm able to, and I'm thankful for God for helping me to be able to become able today, to get out of bed, to record this, to do what I have to do. I just got out of the shower, got myself ready and everything, and I'm like, let me just go at it in a new light instead of the way that I was going to, because the way I was going to was going to be a different approach, but I'm glad I chose this approach. I'm kind of going, like, I'm sorry if I'm going too fast or too slow. I am trying to figure all these things out about how my body and mine is reacting to the nicotine withdrawal symptoms. And to be honest, I've been like shameful of going to the Bible when I was going through a lot of pain and a lot of struggle. I was starting to feel shame and regret and all these things. I was like, man, I really wish I didn't do the detox this time. Like, I wish I didn't quit the nicotine just yet. I wish I would have gave myself another year to get comfortable with the detox of no alcohol and pills. Like, and then I was like going through, maybe I can't do it. Maybe I need to take some time off of this or take some time off of that and everything. And some things are not as organized as they were before I quit the nicotine, but that is okay because we are stepping into new territory. We're stepping onto new grounds. We're stepping into a new creation that God Himself created for us. He has it made for each and every one of us, and He's just waiting for us to step in it. And that takes, a consistent yes every single day, multiple times a day. I mean, the enemy will always have a plan to make you trip, to make you fall. He'll use people against you, your close ones, your friends, your family, people you don't even know on the internet. He'll use people to spark that trigger. And once that trigger happens, you blow. And it's a very thin line between everything you've worked for and what you care about at that moment. And that line is a very, very important line that I feel like a lot of us don't talk about often when we're going through detox or we're trying to get, work on ourselves or our mental health or our physical health. We don't think about that thin line. But being aware of that thin line and knowing where that thin line is and where it leads to can really help you navigate through emotional stress, struggles, anxiety, depression, things like that. And when I get to that moment, I really feel like I want to lash out. I feel like I want to scream to the top of my lungs on top of a mountain so that nobody can hear me, but I can just kind of collapse and just fall to my feet and just cry maybe for a few hours and just like let it all out. That type of I don't know if you guys ever felt that way. Please leave me a comment if you do and tell me how you got through it. The way that I get through it is I tell God that I am in really big trouble. I'll tell Him that, God, please get rid of all of me. Create in me a pure heart. Please create in me a pure heart so that I can step into your purpose, so I can be in your presence, so I can continue what is pleasing in your eyes and your sight on earth. And I try to bind up all that anger when I catch it. It's really hard to catch that thin line when it happens because emotions are high. Your chest is probably beating a million beats per second. Your mind is like full of anger, but there's this one little corner of light that is there, that that is there, and you walk back to it. Sometimes you run back to it because you're scared, not of what's happening around you, but what you're going to produce in the next moments, whether it's with someone you care about or with a complete stranger. Either way, you always want to think about that thin line, and you want to try to pray to God about that. Really lift that area in your life up to God as much as you can. As long as we confess our sins to God, as long as we confess it to Him as much as we can, as soon as we catch it, He will purify us. He will purify us of all that unrighteousness. Purify us, help us through our journey, make our path straight, lead people into our path that are there to to give and to support and to encourage because they themselves has been in that situation or something similar. That's what I've been learning on my journey with Christ. The more and more I'm starting to have encounters with people, I'm starting to understand that all these encounters, you know, I'm not trying to tell you to like read completely 100% deep into anybody that you come across, but really take a step back and just notice God's work in it. Like, oh, you spoke to this person is going through this, you went through this last year. What do you think Jesus put y'all two together for? You know what I mean? Like, say for example, you're at work and whatnot, and this person just started and she's in your position, and you remember how hard it was back then. You get what I'm saying? It's just small little things here and there that you can see God's work and God's plan, his purpose. But it only takes a willing heart to notice it. And the more and more I'm learning on this journey with Jesus, the more and more I'm starting to see how beautiful these moves are, how intentional he does things. Like it's I don't understand, but I can appreciate. Appreciate is an understatement. It is just magnificent. It's beautiful. It's glorifying the name of our Father in heaven. I don't know how, but it's just incredible how he does all these things. He literally sews all together all these beautiful events, all your troubles, all your issues, all your past mistakes. These natural desires that we have because we are human leads us into sin. It leads us into issues, troubles, things that we say out of our mouths. Yes, you cannot reverse the time, but you can fix what is happening in front of you. You can notice the blessings. Okay, you guys just got into an argument, but is the person still there? If the person is still there, they're willing to listen. They may be upset, but they might be willing to listen. Either way, there's always a small hope in a lot of situations that we don't notice when we're faced with these horrific situations, these traumatic experiences, whether, someone hurt us or whatnot. There's always that little hope, that little gap in there, and I just want to make sure that that gap gets bigger and bigger every time in my journey, because that gap will help me realize, that light will shine through these gaps where the whole day is horrific, the whole day is chaotic. You might have had, maybe 2 or 3 minutes of fresh air, but then it was just right back to the chaotic scene. But there's beauty in there. There's so much beauty in there. I don't know whether it was the sun shining on you, your mother smiling at you in the morning before you left, your best friend sending you a text message, a funny joke. You just was treated really nicely while you got your coffee this morning. Something, beautiful things happen in a day that we usually take for granted. Maybe you have someone that texts you every morning and be like, yo, what time we gonna jump on the game today? You know what I mean? Just because you guys have that daily routine. And it's just something to be thankful for, because not everybody goes home to love. Not everybody has love around them. And when you're able to offer it, when you're able to do that for someone else, it heals a part of you too. God is God is eternal, and he is without mistake. He is never late, and he is always on time. So what Jesus has done for me is that he continues to guide me in clarity, wisdom, faithfulness, mercy, grace, love. Everything and anything is infinite with him. And if you're listening today, I want you to remember that Jesus loves you so much, and He is always just a prayer away. Thank you so much for listening on Jesus Still Saves. I'm your host, Rizzy. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to support the message. If you're on Spotify, please follow, rate the show, leave a comment, any prayer requests. Let me know if you're in a similar season in your life. I would love to hear from you. God bless you, and I will talk to you on the next podcast.